Welcome back, Addicts, to another addiction prescription. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about Disenchantment on Netflix. This is a new show by Matt Groening. I don't know if I said that right. I apologize. I know he's a big name. I've never been able to pronounce it, though. So this, if you don't know, this is by the creator of the famous shows like The Simpsons and Futurama. Except instead of it being about a suburban family or set in the future, this is a more medieval fantasy, I should say. Which we got stereotypical characters that are like his other shows, and it does have a similar setup, I guess you could say. But if you guys are new to this type of segment of videos we do, this is kind of like our recommendation videos. Just give you a mini thoughts. This isn't so much a full-on review, but just to give you guys an idea of what we think about it and to kind of spread the word about these different things that we're, whatever it is, albeit a show, movie, game, whatever. And this is more of the kind of video that we'll do if we're not entirely sure if we're going to be covering the future sequels or seasons of the product. So, to give you a little bit about what it is, it follows three main characters. Bean, who is a alcoholic princess, Elfo, who is a elf that doesn't like all the things normal elves do. So he's basically not a grumpy elf, because he still is very kind, but he doesn't like all the things sweet. He actually wants adventure. He wants to see death and despair, just to feel anything except, what is offered in the elf realm. And then we have Lucy, who, I think that's his name, which is a demon, and each of them offer their own feel, and kind of... what's the word I'm looking for? They offer their own spin on the stories that are told. We get to see their backgrounds pretty heavily, I should say, seen, or it kind of adds to it. I don't know. I'm butchering it a little bit, but I guess the best way to describe it is in instances. So, for Elfo, we get to see his past kind of come back later in the season, with them visiting some people that he knows. With Lucy, it's more of like, we get to see an Exorcist episode, which kind of plays in a little bit because he is a demon. And then with Bean, we get to see that since she is a princess, actually in the very first part of the season, we get to see her deal with a arranged marriage. And there's other characters, side characters, like her father, the king. He is a very heavy focus of the overall plot, because unlike some of his other shows that he does, this is more focused in an overall narrative that builds onto the last one. There's still kind of one-off stories in each episode, but there is an overall plot that arcs throughout the whole season, which with that being, the king is actually trying to figure out a way, supposedly he's trying to find a way to become immortal. And one of the avenues that his main magician comes up with is using an immortal elixir made out of elf blood. And so that kind of comes into the fact of Elfo and how he is introduced and how they seemingly keep him on more than just, a fun spectacle to look at. And I don't know, for me personally, I don't really watch The Simpsons anymore. It's a show I think has kind of lost its polish. I can't say for sure how good or how much I'd like it because I haven't been keeping up with the regular seasons. But to me, that show is best in maybe the first 10 seasons, or 8 or whatever you want to say. Just the beginning part of the show, basically. And then on the flip side of that, my favorite show from him is Futurama, which I think was great all the way to the end, even after they brought it back after multiple cancellations. And to me, this show, it doesn't really, I don't know, something about it just doesn't land it to me. I think it was good. I don't know if I can really say it's great. I don't know. The characters themselves are fine, but I don't know, I couldn't connect with them, I guess, as much, or they weren't as likable to me. I think they're still entertaining to watch. I just didn't have that same connection or love that I do with, for instance, like some of the characters on Futurama. But with that being said, there is a lot of things that if you're a fan of his other shows, you will like in this. There's a lot of the voice actors that are back to do certain voices. Not so much the main voices, but a lot of the supporting cast is made up of voice actors from both Futurama and The Simpsons. There's a lot of Easter eggs. There's actually an Easter egg to Futurama that kind of peaks that they are set in the same universe. There's a lot of different aspects, more of his like comedy, and a big thing that he normally tackles on is like alcoholism. That's pretty prevalent in this. But for me, I don't know. It just wasn't terribly intriguing. It was interesting to see a building narrative done by him, which I am curious to see where that will go and how the story will progress or evolve as it goes on. But to me, another show that I really like that recently came out, which we are planning on reviewing, I'm trying to get Michael caught up on it, but that is Final Space. That show, I think the way they depict both the beginning and the ending is great. And it felt like he slightly copied that a little bit. I don't know it could just been a coincidence because I'm not sure how long this was in production or writing. But it just kind of felt like I'd seen this before and I didn't think it was as well done. So that kind of left me a little bit disappointed, especially since I felt invested after watching. But again, it's not a big deal. It's only 12 episodes. I think it's a good show to check out with. I think it's a show that you may not love, but I think you'll still like it. So I would definitely recommend that you guys check it out. And that's going to be pretty much all I have to say about this. I may come back and do a full review on Season 2 if it ends up being greenlit. And if this video does well and a lot of people seem interested in it, then we can definitely go back and maybe discuss a little bit and then do Season 2. But anyway, guys, that'll conclude for this video, and we'll see you next time. Later, Addicts.